take your seats. We are going to start. Otherwise, this is going to be really late. Well, first of all, let me thank you very much, especially to Juanjo Calvete, for his generous and very efficient finding of a time slot for the presentation of Instruct into this Congress. And also a special thanks to Jesus Salgado because of his very efficient help in the provision of the broadcasting and recording system for this. The idea of this presentation is that we are going to show you what is Instruct, because right now Spain, few days ago, has already signed in the participation in this project. So it's the right moment to communicate to you what is Instruct and how Instruct can be very useful for the Spanish scientific community. Well, this very brief presentation is going to be given by the three people that you see there in the screen. I will be presenting the historical framework of this project, and then Claudia Allen-Amaro, who is the Instruct project manager, is coming from Oxford to this meeting, for this presentation specifically, will provide you with information on what is Instruct and what is worth for Instruct and what are the facts of this project. And then José María Carazo, who is actually the responsible for the Instruct Image Processing Center, one of the several centers that you will see are networked by this project, will present to you the practical case on how to access this project and to profit from the infrastructures and how to proceed for profiting for all these. So, yes, let's go to the first one. Well, Instruct is a project that is one of the several projects that have been launched under the umbrella of ESFRI. ESFRI is the European Roadmap for Research Infrastructures. This is a very big European project that was that started about more than 10 years ago, and it was launched by the European Commission. So it's, the idea was to set up a roadmap for large European infrastructures, to provide access to European scientists or international access to these large infrastructures. Although at the beginning it was certainly biased by large physical infrastructures, then it became clear that the need for infrastructures for the European scientists was much larger than the ones represented by physicists, and then the whole project developed during these last 10 years. Right now, ESFRI has already taken other responsibilities besides the launching of this roadmap, and is developing evaluation methodologies useful not only for European infrastructure but also for all sorts of European of national infrastructures, and several cooperation schemes and strengthening cooperation with industry and expanding training possibilities, etc. So right now ESFRI is quite an organization that provides European and takes care of European access to large infrastructures. Well, the story of ESFRI is rooted in the existence of very many trans-European research networks and projects along the years. Basically, most of the European countries have participated and already participates in many networks and projects, and this gave rise to the preparation of this roadmap for infrastructures that started on 2002 with a call for proposals that was not very well spread, I must say, but it was the beginning that turned out in the submission of proposals from the different countries, and this started a coordination with the national roadmaps. In fact, I think that the S3 roadmap provided a good excuse to many European countries for starting their own national roadmaps that have evolved during the last 10 years. Well, the agenda of the S3 roadmap was after the submission of the first submission of the proposals, there was the setting up of different working groups by thematic areas, and then this was an extended work by many people that had incorporated experts from many countries, from many European countries. And then at the end, there was a presentation of the proposal to the Commission and Member States, and started the preparatory phases. And all the S3 projects had a preparatory phase that was financed by the European Union, and then there was a transitional or construction phase that led to the full implementation of these projects, and then the onset of the operational phase in which the funding comes for the participating countries. So this sort of S3 roadmap project only gave finance European budget for the preparatory phase and eventually some aspects of the transitional phase. Well, it was clear from the very beginning that the S3 had to deal with different thematic areas, and these are the areas, the main areas that have been considered for the roadmap of European infrastructures: social sciences and humanities, biological and medical sciences, environmental sciences, material and analytical facilities, energy, and physical and engineering sciences. So these are there, and each of these areas had a working group that had to deal with all the proposals, and eventually they prepared a proposal, a final list that to be approved by the European Commission and the participating countries. This involved more than 1,000 European high-level experts in all these exercises. It was really a huge effort. And besides the technical part, there were also political representatives in the S3 Council that in each country had to deal with basically the ministries of science and or assimilated representatives in this to take the final decision on which of the proposals were finally approved for the starting phase. You see here the outline of the different countries participating in this roadmap. The first map was settled on 2006. There was an update in 2008 and a final update in 2010. So the process is not formally closed, but it's almost closed for the time being until the Horizon 2020. At least. So this has led to the existence of 48 projects. 26 of them have reached operational phase or are entering the operational or phase in 2013. Well, these are the projects that have some relationship with biological and medical sciences area that are the projects that we will be mostly interested. And as you see, they covered many different aspects. And just to mention some that you probably know, Elixir that deals with the infrastructure for biological information, Eurobioimaging, that is infrastructure for imaging technologies in biological and biomedical applications, and ISB, that is the infrastructure for system biology, that is lagging a little behind because it belongs to the last update, and Instruct, is the integrated structural biology infrastructure. The story of Instruct roots on the existence of very successful networks and projects at the European level. Just to mention the protein structure factory in Berlin, the Oxford Protein Production Facility and the Genopoles in France, and two main projects, Spain, that was the structural proteomics in Europe, that was held in the Framework Program 5, and the Spain 2 complexes, that was the logical continuation of Spain, that relate with complexes in this case, and that finished in 2010. So based on these interactions, a core group was developed that present a project to the update of 2008, that was approved in 2008, and this started, that was the formal starting of this Instruct project that was coordinated in Oxford by David Stewart and his team, and actually we are very happy to have here Claudia Allen Amaro, that is, as I mentioned, the project manager that will continue the presentation describing how Instruct is organized and what are the features for Instruct.
First of all, my main objective of being here today was to say welcome to the Spanish community, to Instruct. You have heard already from Jose what the history of how Instruct came about. I'm going just to give you an update on where we are at the moment and what we have achieved so far and what our plan for the future, and open an invitation for you to apply, to get funding, to make use of Instruct as much as you can. And if you have any questions, to invite you to contact me. And as you can hear from my accent, I will be able to talk to you in Spanish very happily if you call me into the office to discuss Instruct or further projects. Then who is Instruct so far? At the moment, we have 10 member states that are here represented. These are full member states. That means that the researchers working in institutions of these countries, doesn't matter where you are born, but that you are working on those countries, can make full use of the research infrastructure. There are other countries that they are in the process of affiliation, and in some of them we're hoping they will affiliate very soon. We started the operational phase 16 months ago. Then all what I'm going to show you is what we have achieved in this 16 months. We have a ceremony in Belgium that was the Commission has supported us through the preparatory phase and continue supporting us, and they were present at the signing ceremony. And in this collaboration agreement set the basis for all scientists around Europe to be able to use each other's infrastructure. Apart from the Instruct itself and the relation we have between the consortium and with other scientists around Europe, we have signed memorandum of understanding and other collaboration agreements with other projects that they deal with areas of shared interest, and also with other institutions in countries that are not member yet, to start the interaction going and hopefully helping them in affiliate in the future. Then what is the structure of Instruct? It's a very simple structure. We have a very lean central hub that is located at the University of Oxford, where I work. And from there we organize the access, we help for the visit, we organize all training events, we organize all meetings, we organize the website, that is where all the activities are centralized. But the main activities of Instruct happen in 15 nodes around Europe. These are the centers that provide the infrastructures. Some of these centers provide infrastructure to multiple platforms. Some centers are more specialized. These centers were selected during the preparatory phase, and they will be periodically reviewed to make sure that we are offering the best infrastructure to structural biology. That these are the centers at the moment does not mean that these will be the centers in a few years' time. We will always have the centers that can provide to any biologist around Europe the best structural biology we have in Europe. The next review will be in 2014, and we will be open calls and will be peer review. Mainly, we find that when we have this very large European infrastructure, they have to be reviewed from people from the US, Australia, international, to avoid any problems. Then why Instruct? What can Instruct provide you? Well, basically, Instruct provides you with large-scale and cutting-edge technology for structural biology that no single country can provide to their scientists, or definitely no a single institute. It's very difficult that any scientist can have access to each one of the different large equipment that structural biology and integrated structural biology require. Then through Instruct, you can have access to all that infrastructure. But not only the equipment, we also provide the specialized expertise. Some of these infrastructures, they are not to be used by a novice. You need a very good expertise behind, and that we can provide as well. The level of collaboration in those projects is just to be discussed between the user and the Instruct Center for each project. We provide free access to these technologies. We help you coordinate the access. We understand these are a person in one country having to travel to 2, 3, 4 other European countries, and we are there to help you to process not only the scientific part of the work, but also the bureaucratic side of the work. And we also provide training courses, internships, small startup grants, and we've been organizing conferences and more to come. And we are open to suggestions if you have more ideas of things we can do for the community. Then Jose Maria will explain a bit more about this later on, but the process is very simple. You go into our website, you have to register. Once you register, I validate you as a scientist from a country that is a member country. And once I validate you, you will see a big red button at the front that says apply for funds. You present your project gets peer review, and you get access to the different infrastructure you require. The only thing we ask at the end is that you acknowledge us in your publications. In the last 16 months, this is actually a bit out of date because we have a few more approved this morning, I just looked. But until yesterday, people have asked for 42 platforms, of which 26 visits were approved in different areas. In different areas of integrated structural biology. This is quite a busy slide because we are very busy, Then these are all the activities we do at the moment. As I talked about, they're providing the access, but we also have provided a small startup grants for ideas that they are a bit too risky for conventional funding. Then we provide a small amount of funding that will let you to prove that the idea has legs, and then that help you to apply for further funding from other sources. We have already 2 calls for training courses, and a third is in the process. We have been interacting with industry. We have a first call for internships. Some of the internships are already underway. And we organized just last month the first biennial conference that we are hoping that it will brought together 200 structural biologists from around Europe. It was a very successful meeting, and the next one will be in Florence in 2015, and you are all invited to attend. And obviously, as I said, the coordination activities is from this hub with the office at the University of Malta. These are the training events planned for this year. There is at the beginning of next year. As you see, there is one in January 2014 that will be in Madrid. And what is our plan for the future? At the moment, Instruct works as a very small company located in the UK. That was the legal way we find to start activities. But the Commission has set up a bespoken legal structure called ERIC that will give us a better way to do our functions. And we are starting the application process, and we are hoping to become an ERIC by 2015. And I think that's it from my side. Now, Jose Maria will explain a bit more how to apply, but I'm open for any question. I brought some brochures if you want to have a look, and I will stay a bit after the meeting if you want to talk.
In principle, to make it more shorter, I think that it's better you keep your questions to the end, and then we will try to answer as best as we can all together.
Yeah, really just to be short and to really also try to be practical in the middle of a really complex type of project, this S3 project that involves different legal entities and things like that. The idea seems simple. I mean, nobody's going to have every infrastructure in the world, so we are going to share different infrastructures. The way to share infrastructure is that you put some of your infrastructure into the pool for others, for others to access them. I think you know that this is being pumping into the internet, and this is being recorded to be put into the website of the Congress and the website of the I2PC, the Instruct Image Processing Center in Madrid. Okay, so a little bit of instructing practices, everything about access. So the point is that you get into the Instruct website, which is very simple. You put Instruct into Google, and you will see Structural Biology Europe and things like that, and there you go, you register because we need to know who are you, and then you will see immediately that there is the Instruct access process. It's a button here on the right-hand side, and you get into the core of Instruct, that is about how do I access different infrastructures. The process to access infrastructure is a logical one, simple one. We are used to that. You have a project, you write in a small thing, you are going to see how small is really your proposal. You submit it, it is reviewed, it is asking for several infrastructures, and once granted, as Claudia was telling us, usually in about 4 weeks, you get an answer to your proposal. You can start planning the visit to the different infrastructures. Well, let's see a concrete case. I mean, I work with a certain complex. I am able to put a scientific case on that. It is formed by several copies of a given protein that actually also the complex interact with a small protein Z. And I don't know much about the structural biology myself. I am working at the complex. I mean, I know the biochemistry, the biophysics, I know the pathologies involved, everything that you could know. But really, at the structural biology level, you are not yet in that area. So you certainly would like to characterize the whole complex by electron microscopy. That small protein, maybe by NMR, solve the structure of X by X-rays, perform some biophysical characterization. So what do? You submit a proposal, an Instruct proposal, telling the scientific case and saying, well, in principle, I would be needing the access to this platform or to access these technologies. And the process to access is really simple and is really quick. I mean, the whole point has been to really not have a lot of bureaucracy. I mean, we have to handle the European bureaucracy and the Spanish bureaucracy and every country's bureaucracy, but not put ourselves another layer. So this is the submit proposal thing. And my point doing this at this moment is for you to see that this is not another CV format to fill up. Okay, so is research project, context and objective, 2,500 characters. You put the preliminary result. I mean, it's logical that you have some preliminary result. Company figures, research program methodology, and then you say, well, really, these are the technologies, the platform that I think I will need. I mean, there is a talking with the reviewers to really check which is the type of thing you really need. You may first need some sample production, mammalian expression. Your protein is a little bit hard to normally express in the lab. Biophysical characterization. What were we saying? That there was some, you want to access some beamline. We were saying that this protein Z might be interesting to study, and you know that it's not very soluble, so solid state NMR. And of course, you electron microscopy for the complex. But I mean, we are in electron microscopy, so of course we are going to use it, and image processing there. So with that, you would be submitted your proposal. Really, not a difficult process. The thing behind is much more complex, and we cannot say everything is running in no way. I mean, we are starting, so the number of proposals is limited. There are many things that are not yet tested, or many things that have to be improved. We are saying that this seems to be a way to go with many limitations, and still in the way to prove. But I mean, at the very least, we are trying to make it simple and effective, and from a biological and from a scientific point of view. So this is really what at the end of the day, what would Instruct do for me? Well, after reviewing your proposal, you will get in contact with a different platform, because if you need to do NMR, you have to talk to the NMR people and to see if it is feasible, what are you saying, to schedule the process. And the point is that, in principle, you will not be charged by the use of that platform per se, because each of the nations that would have or that have designated some Instruct centers will be paying the access. There are already a number of projects that some of you are probably using already, the I3 project for access to infrastructure. Okay, this would be sort of a super I3 project, in which you would be accessing not only a certain type of infrastructure, but an integrated approach in which you will be asking several platforms at the same time. And I will be provided with basic travel costs. That is exactly what happened now if you go to a synchrotron or if you are using I3. So in the concrete example I was putting you here, well, there will be an evaluation by each of the platform. We are talking of NMR platform. Okay, so the NMR platform will be checking on you and checking exactly the viability of what you are saying. And once everything seems right, the cost of the platform and the cost of the travel will be charged to a specific I3 project at this moment in time, that is BioNMR. In the future, we don't know how Horizon 2020 will do the things. One logical possibility would be that this BioNMR would be Instruct itself. So you will be asking for Instruct platform, and Instruct will be paying the platform and paying the trip. Of course, as you can imagine, the paying of the trip is is not the issue. The real issue is to pay the platform and the people involved in the platform and things like that. For the EM platform, it's actually the same. You will be put in contact with the different EM platforms, Martin Street, Grenoble, Strasbourg, and Madrid, for image processing especially. We don't have in electron microscopy an I3 project like an NMR. So the platform cost will be covered by the platform themselves in this phase. The platform themselves mean by Spanish money, while there is this Horizon 2020 start. And Instruct will provide some travel cost and some cost to run the specific experiment that you have to put or you have to perform in the platform, not to charge the platform with that extra cost. The X-ray platform, which are the synchrotron, are a bit more difficult because these are very large-scale national infrastructure, and yet we are trying to find the best way between globally deciding at the European level, but using a very expensive national resource that has its own access committee and things like that. So we are still checking how the review is transferred from one place to the other and things like that. Not everything is really settled at this moment, and we have a number of years to make things really smooth. But for instance, in X-ray, there is already another I3 project, like in NMR, that is BioStract X. So it's another way to pay the cost of the platform themselves, the travel, things like that. For the rest of the platform, while Horizon 2020 is not yet there, the way they are organizing and covering their financial cost is variable, depends on many things. But from the point of view of the user, this doesn't matter. Because for the point of view of the user, you access a platform, the platform somehow is paid, and you have some travel money for doing that. So you have the access, the first thing. The access is not on your probably limited research money, and you have the possibility to advance your research by using this large-scale infrastructure. And basically, this is all. And I think that we are totally open to questions and to see how we can convey better these perhaps not so obvious ways.
Okay, now I think there will be very many questions. And yeah, please.
What we do is we have set up we wanted to set up a group of training courses for integrated structural biology. Then all these Instruct centers propose these courses that they get reviewed and accepted, and we have this sort of courses. When you are as a member of an Instruct country now, you can apply and go to these courses for free. Or if the course is very expensive, at least you will have a good discount in the price as a member state. And all the information about all these courses are available from the website. And again, we are always there if you have any question on how to apply or if a course if you think there is an area that we should be covering and we are not at the moment, also let us know, because we are always looking for new ideas.
I think let me emphasize that right now, because Spain is officially part of Instruct, we are entitled not only to use the facilities, but also to propose courses or to ask for internships and things like that. So we are now accessing to a number of advantages that we never had before. So this is the time for you to visit the Instruct webpage and take note of the different alternatives that you can use.
For example, we also had a set of internships That it was a pity. We had many people from Spain applying, but they couldn't because they hadn't signed so far. Then if you think these internships help you to go for 2 to 5 months to a lab, to one of these labs around Europe, to do a bit more of in-depth collaboration. And those will be, a new call for those internships will be next year, and now the Spanish scientists are eligible for it.
Switching on.
Hello? Yes. So, was the percentage of proposals that are approved basically, I mean, must be very high impact proposal or, yes?
So far we have 36 platforms was requested and 24 were approved.
Okay.
Then the approval is quite high. Maybe the people have been very careful applying so far. But yes, and also I want to emphasize that even when we are looking for integrated structural biology projects, if you have access in your own lab to a series of platforms and you only need one, that's perfectly eligible because your project is still integrated. It's just that you only need one platform from Instruct. Then that counts as well. You don't need to apply for many. You can apply just for one platform. That will be perfectly okay.
Okay, thank you.
So, Instruct is funded directly from the EU or just from each country that wants to use their facilities?
Instruct is paid by the affiliated countries. Then each country pays 50,000 euros per year to the general pot. Then it's not a lot to start with. But obviously, that is what they pay for the scientists to be able to use. But in addition, as Jose Maria was saying, they are providing infrastructure. Then Spain pays the 50,000 euros for their scientists to allow, but also offers Jose Maria's infrastructure.
So basically, the way for most centers should be working is there is Center X. So this Center X should be providing within the Instruct project, let's say 20 or 30% of its capacity. So this 30% of its capacity will be funded by national funds in exchange of using the other 20-30% in other centers. This is the idea. In the case of Spain, the single thing that we have been able to get it funded is software, which is much simpler and much less expensive than really funding microscopes, 20% of Pepe's microscope, 20% of NMR facility of 900, things like that. We have tried to get Spain much more involved from the very beginning. Thank you.
The European Union has funded the onset of the project, only the preliminary phase, but that was the end. Nevertheless, we all hope that in Horizon 2020 there will be some sensible way to fund all these infrastructures, all this roadmap of infrastructure that has been created under the Commission, and now they have to, in a way, respond to that, but still is not defined. For the time being, only national funding is available.
And also there is funds from the Commission for individual, for NMR, for mass spec, Biostruct, all those procedures. Then we, at Instruct, we will also help you navigate in that sea of uncertainty sometimes. If you apply for 4 platforms and one is NMR, one is Biostruct, we will do the work for you to help you. Then when some of those projects is completely automatic, if we approve your project, we NMR and EU NMR will approve it straight away. We no more need it. With BioStrack, we have a procedure in place, which is a little bit more complicated, but we can help you with that. Then in many cases, there is European funds as well, but it's a bit from here, a bit from there, and we are there to help the user to do that bureaucratic procedure as well.
So, is there funding provided for the host lab to pay for consumables, running costs, for people who are training and so on?
At the moment, we have a cap funds because we cannot fund too much. Then each visit, not each project, each visit, a project can have more than one visit, is 800 euros per visit. Then we foresee that that covers travel and some consumables. The rest, in many cases, can be covered by European funds. One of those are I3s. In other cases, the host will do some of the cost, and in other cases, you will have to use some of your grant funds if necessary. But so far, the visits we have had, we have been able to cover everything with just looking at possibilities.
In the case that you request the expertise because you are not familiar with a technique, this does mean that you enter in a collaboration with a group from somewhere in Europe?
That depends in your interaction with the group. In some cases, some of these groups are extremely used to deal with access visits, and they can deal with users that they are not that experienced, and it will be just a visit. But in some cases, if you really need a lot more of the expertise, it will become a collaboration, in which case will be like any collaboration where you will have a person in the paper. But that's not compulsory. It depends in each case how it is. In many of these things, we have tried to keep it as open as possible for the scientists to do the interaction. But before, you have to know, you have to be a friend, you have to know who to go. We are open doors that before you have to be a friend or that person in the know to be able to access.
Well, I think we are Instruct is following for large infrastructures more or less the same road that has been given by the synchrotrons. I mean, if you go to a synchrotron to do an X-ray diffraction of your crystals, then in most of the cases it's just a service. But if the problem is sufficiently difficult, or you are interested in a real collaboration with the experts in the beamline, then you establish a collaboration. But in principle, it's offered as a service.
Okay, thank you very much. I think you can continue talking on the reception if you are not leaving. Then it would be a nice opportunity just to thank you, all the speakers today and the chairmans, because you make it very nice job. And all the talks, I think were very, very nice. And also to you yourself to staying till the end. Well, now we have a welcome reception, which will be in the place we had lunch today. And we have some food and some drinks. And you can continue talking about all this stuff. So thank you very much. Remember, just one last thing. Remember, tomorrow we will start at 9, the same room. So let's go to the reception. Thank you.